Hello everyone, NinjaNick333. We're back here with another deck profile for the Scarlet and Violet post-rotation standard format that we are currently in. We've got Lugia Tyranitar. This is the full deck list. You can't really see it all in one shot on PTCG Live because they choose to not make this a very user-friendly client. But we're going to go through the card by card. Here are the numbers on each of these cards because as I zoom in, you will not be able to see those either. We have the Radiant Serena as our Radiant of choice with the Elegant Heal to heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. That is great for the Lost Box matchup. We have Luminion V for the Luminous Sign to search our deck for a supporter card and put it into our hand as long as we put this directly onto the bench from our hand. So you can't nest ball this out in order to use this ability. Aqua Return used to be an attack that we used to use, but however there is no way to fulfill the water energy cost on this with special energy currently in the format. We have the Stone Journer here as well, the single strike. We do have a large single strike package in this deck because that is the best replacement for the powerful colorless energy, is to just do all of this. So Stone Journer specifically because it is great in the Miraidon matchup. They're all fighting weak. Lance Pulse, fighting colorless, does 30 plus 30 if there's a stadium in play, and there should most of the time be a stadium in play if you're not attacking with Lugia. And the Giga Hammer for double fighting and one colorless does 120, and next turn you can't use this attack. So yeah, you will be one-shotting those Regieleki VMAXs, those Miraidons, so that should be a decent matchup for you. We have the Tyranitar V single strike as well with Cragalanche for 60 and single strike Crush for 240. The first one discards the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. The second one discards the top 4 cards of your own deck, so you do have to be careful with your resources when you are using Single Strike Crush. However, that one-shots pretty much anything in the format if you have enough Single Strike energies on it. So, pretty good replacement for powerful colorless energy. We have 4 Archeops because it is the main asset of the deck here. You have the Primal Turbo ability, where you can search your deck for up to 2 special energies and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Sometimes you also attack with the Speed Wing for 120. This is the only one of this Arcan line that you even play. You don't bother playing the Fossil or the Arcan because you can get it straight out with the Lugia V Star. So Lugia V here has Read the Wind, which basically says discard Archeops from your hand, draw 3 cards, only use this if you're bricking. And then Arrow Dive, 130, you can discard a Stadium card in play for 4 colorless. You usually don't want to attack with Lugia V because you have a Lugia V Star, which hits a little harder. Tempest Dive, same attack cost, same attack effect, but does 220 instead of 130. Also has way more HP at 280, and the Summoning Star ability, the main reason why you play Lugia, is that during your turn you may put 2 colorless Pokemon that don't have a rule box from your discard onto play. That would be the Archeops. We also have Great Ball here. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal a Pokemon, put it into your hand. I refuse to play Capturing Aroma. That card is bad. I do not want to rely on cards that are coin flips if I can avoid it. So we play Great Ball because it's better. Nest Ball. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. If you get the Luminion out, again, you cannot use the Luminion's ability with that card. Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards from your hand to search for a Pokemon. Pretty great for getting Lugia V Star into your hand and getting Archeops out of your hand. We have the Urn of Vitality, shuffle up to 2 Single Strike energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. So as a part of the Single Strike package, these quad Urn of Vitality are really great. You can have 4 Single Strike energies on one of your Tyranitars, then it gets knocked out. You put up the next one, you double Urn of Vitality, double Archeops, and then you have it going yet again. Mesagosa, as I said, I try to avoid coin flips whenever I can. Unfortunately, this is a scenario where we can't avoid the coin flips. Mesagosa, once during each player's turn, you can flip a coin. If ahead, search your deck for a Pokemon, put it in your hand. This is the best stadium in this deck right now. It allows for the most consistency. Since we've lost things like Quick Ball, it just makes it a lot harder to get into the stuff we need, especially since Great Ball is not as good, but at least it's not Capturing Aroma. So we do have the Mesagosa to try to, get Luminion for Burnett or get Luminion for Research, or you can get the Archeops to discard it. You can get the Lugia V Star, all sorts of different ways that thing is useful. We have the Boss's Orders, so we can knock out our opponent's bench Pokemon. We have the Burnett, so we can search our deck for 2 cards and discard them, so that would be the Archeops. You can Luminion for the Burnett to get those in the discard pile. We have the Research, also to get the Archeops in the discard pile, but also to draw 7 cards is pretty good. Serena, you can discard up to 3 cards from your hand. If you do, draw cards till you have 5 in your hand. Or you can also gust up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon V, just like a Boss's Orders. We have Worker here. as in out to the Temple of Sinnoh and the Path to the Peak. You can out the Temple of Sinnoh off the Luminion with Worker, but of course you can't bench Luminion under Path to get Worker, so you just kind of have to have it in hand. So mostly for the Temple of Sinnoh, but also sometimes for the Path to the Peak. Draw 3 cards, discard a Stadium. Pretty decent. We have the double Turbo Energies, which are 2 colorless, and your Pokemon does 20 less damage. It's pretty great on those Lugia V Stars. We have Gift Energy now in here, because when your Pokemon that it's attached to is knocked out, you draw till you have 7. So it's a great way to get around things like Roxanne and Judge. We also have Lucky Energy, same type of reasoning. If it's attached to a Pokemon, it's a colorless energy. And if it's damaged from an attack, you draw 1 card. So that's pretty great. You don't have to be knocked out like you do for Gift Energy. We have the Quad Single Strike Energy. Can only be attached to a Single Strike Pokemon. If it's attached to a Pokemon that's not Single Strike anymore, you do have to discard it. As long as it's attached to a Pokemon, it is a Fighting and Darkness Energy. Only provides 1 at a time. And the attacks of the Pokemon is attached to do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that is how your Tyranitar reaches for one-shots. We also have a couple V-Guard Energy, so that we take 30 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon V. And that is the list, so we're going to get into a couple of games with this. This was my favorite list, or this was my favorite deck, rather, in the Silver Tempest format, and currently it is my favorite deck to play in the Scarlet and Violet format. It is a lot different, but it still feels like it is the most powerful and consistent. So we will get into those games right now. All right, our opponent flipped heads and won the coin flip, so they are part of the Nick gang of always picking the heads option. It always bothers me when people pick tails for some reason. I don't quite understand why it even matters to me. We're going to start here with the Stonjourner. It's not the worst attacker. It does have a 3 retreat cost. It looks like we're against some sort of fire deck. I'm not really sure what there is that's even fire in this format currently. Maybe my opponent is playing Arceus Charizard VMAX. It's probably the best fire deck that I would assume is even in the format. They have the Charizard coin, the Charizard sleeves. I would say probably Charizard. Alright, Nest Ball for Growlithe. No, we are against Arcanine EX. Interesting. So at least they're on theme with the fire. So Arcanine EX has, I think, 250 or 260 HP. And it can do damage based on the damage counters on it as well. Oh, looks like that is it, though, from my opponent. That is not looking good. But also, I do not have a Lugia V Star yet. Or a Lugia V, rather. Or a way to get it. I might have to Luminion. I don't play Judge in this deck, though, so... I might have to research away 4 energies? That doesn't feel good. I think I would rather play it slow. I'm going to Luminous Sign for Burnett. Well, I guess I could Serena. Nah, I'm going to Burnett. I'm going to just hope to draw into the Lugia. Oops. We are going to discard double Archeops. It was probably better to just play the research, but I could always research the next turn. We're going to attach a single strike energy and just pass. Our opponent's start was pretty slow, so our start being slow as well is not too bad to have to deal with. They are going to Nest Ball as well. For a Bidoof. Okay. Looks like this is the upgraded... Oh, it's 280 HP. So yeah, Raging Claw is 30 plus 10 for each damage counter on it. And Bright Flame, 250, discard 2 fire energy. They're also going to Arven. So they're likely not going to be able to get set up in one turn. They do have to just hard attach. They can always rare candy into a Charizard from Pokemon Go that doubles the fire energy that you have in play. That is not a bad pair for this Pokemon, but... Overall, I think that this Arcanine EX deck is just not very good. It's not very playable, in my opinion. The Charcadet does evolve into a Armarouge that reminds me of Quagnag in a way. Pretty solid. Oh, they do have Magma Basin, but that only works on your benched Pokemon, so... We get another V Star. Alright, well, looks like we will... be attaching the gift energy and playing research. And there is the Lugia V as well as another Lugia V Star. Discarding the 2 Lugia V Star was not too bad in this at this time here. We also have a Nest Ball. Let's get another Lugia V down just in case our opponent does some wacky shenanigans and has a way to knock us out. We'll also Great Ball. Looks like we whiff that. There are no Archeops in there. We will Lance Pulse. We will do 80 damage with that. And our opponent does not have any energy on their active Pokemon here. So I'm not really afraid of my Stonjourner getting knocked out. But yeah, again, very slow start from me, not having the Lugias. But at least I got another 1 energy attachment out of that hand, discarding only 2 of them. It's not as bad as discarding 3. Alright, so they get the Bibarel, they draw some cards. They're going to Ultra Ball away a Charcadet and Ultra Ball to get Armor Rouge, most likely, I would assume. Yes, so Armor Rouge has the ability Fire Off as often as you... Come on, let me read it. As often as you would like during your turn, you may move a fire energy from a bench Pokemon to the active. So what they're trying to do is damage the Armor Rouge with Magma Basin and then move the energies to the active Arcanine EX. So that actually is a good way to play this deck. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That makes a lot of sense. But I haven't actually seen an Arcanine EX deck that wasn't the theme deck that they give you on live. So, oh, looks like they are going to go for a Lugia V knockout. I'm perfectly okay with that. I've already damaged this Arcanine EX. I will be able to knock it out on the next turn with the Lugia V Star. Even if I put even if I put a single double turbo energy on it, it'll be fine. Oh, and they only hit for 140 because they know I benched the second Lugia V. They do not want me to V Star out 2. Ooh. And I won't be able to knock out if I do. Interesting. So we will use the Radiant Serena's Elegant Heal here. Now, how do I want to do this? So I could get 1 Archeops out, or I could just, like, pass the turn. So if I get 1 Archeops out, what am I doing for the turn? I'm just retreating and attacking with Stonjourner again, and what does that get me? So I think I'd rather just let the Lugia V die. I mean, I guess I could knock out Bibarel with the boss's orders, but I'd rather knock out the Arcanine. That's the only threat on the board right now. That, and I suppose the Armor Rouge, technically. But I'll be able to discard the Magma Basin with Lugia V Star when I attack with it. Yeah, I think... Yeah, putting the second Lugia V ended up being a misplay, but you never know. There could have been a way that he could have charged up the Arcanine in 1 turn. If he... You know, Magma Basin to this Pokemon. And then... Is there any other ways to accelerate fire energies? I don't think so. Could have attached Return. Trying to think of all the ways he could have done it. And the fact that we're getting rid of the Choice Belt here is super important as well. So they're going to start loading up this second Growlithe here. I'm a little surprised they didn't just put it to the Armor Rouge to save the Arcanine from taking damage, but I mean, it can do extra damage with Raging Claws, so I suppose the Magma Basin is fine. So I'm going to put up the Lugia V now. We will evolve into the V Star. Oh, we'll get Mesagosa as well. So we will evolve. We will Summoning Star. We're going to get double Archeops. Yeah, because if I got 1 Archeops, I wouldn't have been able to put 2 double turbos on it and take the knockout. I would have been 20 short. So we will use Primal Turbo number 1. We can get 1 double turbo on here, as well as... how do I want to do this? Let's get V-Guard Gift. Yeah, I'm going to have to anyway. So let's go Gift Double Turbo to the active. And then the second one will just get Lucky Energy. Or do we want V? I want V-Guard. I'd prefer V-Guard. Save the Lucky Energy for something else. And then we will play Mesagosa. Use it to grab a Pokemon from deck. Fail, but that's okay. We're just going to discard the stadium anyway with our own Tempest Dive. We'll take the knockout on Arcanine EX, take the 2 prize cards, discard the stadium, and we are now tied. So now my opponent needs to get another Arcanine EX and another Magma Basin. Well, maybe not a Magma Basin, just a Fire Energy, because they have 2 on this Growlithe already. They don't have a Choice Belt, though. Oh, yeah, they got this energy from the EXP share. So they have to, like, Lost Vacuum their own EXP share in order to put a Choice Belt on it in order to one-shot us. They Magma Basin to their Arbor Rouge, which they can move it to the active should they want to. I mean, if they think they're going to live, then they definitely should do that. And I can also take the knockout here with the... If I were to somehow get knocked out here, I can actually Ultra Ball for the Tyranitar, get that loaded up, and take the knockout on the Arcanine. Looks like they have Radzard as well. That's going to be something a little bit threatening. But my path is now knockout Arcanine, knockout Lumineon, because that will not be able to leave the board unless they play Thornton. And I highly doubt a deck like this is consistent enough to play Thornton. Looks like they just Raging Claws to try to soften me up here. So that is perfectly fine. That's going to give me the option to Boss's Orders here, and I can knock out the Lumineon this turn. The Radiant Charizard will be able to take the next knockout. Actually, I'll Serena it up, and then I can Boss up the Arcanine EX the next turn. So that is my path to victory here. I have all the cards I need. So I'm going to Serena, switch one of your opponents, so I'm going to Gust the Lumineon up. We're going to Elegant Heal, 20 damage off of the Lugia V Star. I am also going to Primal Turbo. I'm going to put a Lucky Energy on myself. And then I'm going to put a Single Strike Energy on my Stonjourner. And that way, if I have to retreat into a Tyranitar, I can retreat off those energies, earn them back into the deck, and then reattach them. And we will Tempest Dive for the knockout. Yeah, so we have exactly 250 HP remaining. So if that Arcanine comes up, it will knock us out. So we will have to Ultra Ball for the T-Tar. We do also get another Single Strike Energy off of this as well. Yeah, so as long as our opponent doesn't judge us, we're fine here. But yeah, definitely, if you're interested in an Arcanine EX deck, this is definitely the way I would play it. This seems like the most consistent way to play it. The EXP share feels a little bad, though. I'd rather just, like, Battle VIP pass out multiple Charcadets into Armor Rouge. Yep, so the Radiant Charizard does take the knockout here. I don't draw anything off of that. I am going to bring up Stonjourner. Yeah, I'm doing 160 now with Stonjourner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Ultra Ball, get rid of double Lugia. We're going to get the T-Tar out of the deck. We will bench it, retreat, all 3 energies off of it, go into the Tyranitar, earn a Vitality. We're going to put those 2 back in. We are going to Primal Turbo. Both of those to the active. I feel like I keep wanting to play it like it's PTCGO. I forgot literally everything is click and drag. And then we can, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. Bomb, bomb, bomb. 260 for exact knockout. Single Strike Crush, and then we discard the top 4 cards of our own deck. None of which were cards that even mattered if this game were to go on. And that is the game. So that's game 1 with Lugia V Star. Even though I had a little bit of a slow start intentionally, it didn't end up really mattering because we were just a little bit more consistent than that deck. Yeah, again, would have loved to see some Battle VIP passes from them. Maybe if they were able to, like, turn one Arvin for a Battle VIP pass, maybe. That would have been good. But yeah, it actually puts Arcanine EX on my radar because I completely disregarded it before then. Alright, so we chose heads and flipped it, so we will be going first in this matchup as well. Lugia always loves going first, obviously. We do start the Lugia. We got a couple Great Balls, so this is not a bad hand. We could Great Ball potentially for 2 Archeops and then research them next turn. Ooh, and it looks like we're against Rotom V Star. Oh my god, I've hit this in 2 separate regionals with Lugia. I managed to beat it both times. The first time, we got a 17-minute, if for those who didn't hear this story, we got a 17-minute time extension because my opponent made a big mistake. They lost on 1 tool into my Lugia V that had a V-Guard energy, so they only hit for 210. That judge ruling took 17 minutes to get correct. And, yeah, I wasn't playing Dunsparce, and I ended up winning on turn 3 of time, so we used all 17 of those additional minutes. So we are going to go Great Ball. We fail. Great Ball. We'll get the Lugia V Star. They can't attack turn 1, so I feel a little safe here. I'm also going to Mesagosa. We do flip heads, so I'm going to grab an Archeops here. My opponent shouldn't be playing Judge in their deck, so I'm just going to attach Double Turbo and pass. And I'm going to try to flip heads on Mesagosa again on the next turn, and then Archeops. Ultra Ball away, double Archeops. But yeah, the second time I hit it, I was playing Dunsparce in my deck. The Rotom V Star at a regional. Looks like they flip heads on Mesagosa. That is the downside of playing this card. When I was testing this card in Lugia, I would always flip tails and my opponents would always flip heads. In this deck, it feels fine because you can use it and then discard it immediately with the Lugia. They do have the Miraidon that will help them set up. That is a cool way to make the Rotom V Star deck a little bit better. Looks like he's only getting 1 Rotom V, which is a little curious to me. I would have liked to see 2. You could possibly have even gotten another Miraidon and then used the Miraidon to get another 2 Rotom Vs. I do believe that there is an Electrode that you can knock out to put energies on your Pokemon. So if... I'm like just trying to think here. I don't know if that rotated or not, but if it didn't rotate, I would have liked to see it here. They're going to Nest Ball for a Galarian Articuno so they can reconstitute, discard 2 cards, draw 1, which seems really bad, but as long as they're tool cards, which one of them was, you don't mind having those in the discard pile. Also, everybody always plays Tower of Darkness in this Rotom deck, and they only ever discard Tower of Darkness with the Tower of Darkness. So I never see additional tool cards go into there with that. We do get a single strike energy, which I can discard and then earn back in, actually. That's not too bad. So we will Lugia... Actually, let's Tower first. I'm going to Tower, discard one of my... I'm going to discard my single strike energy. Draw 2. That's not bad. So now I will Nest Ball. I'm going to grab another... Do I want another Lugia? No, I want Stonejourner here. So this will be good against the Stonejourner. We will Evolve. We will Ultra Ball away, earn Archeops to grab Archeops. We will earn the single strike energy back in. And then we will research our hand. We have 2 Archeops in the discard pile now. We also get some T-Tars, so we can take some nice one-shots. So we are going to Summoning Star. We're going to get out our double Archeops here. Boom, boom. Pow. Primal Turbo. I cannot put another double Turbo on here. So what we are going to do is we're going to go V-Guard Gift. V-Guard Gift. I'm going to bench T-Tar. kind of want to Ultra Ball away. I'm going to attach for turn to the Stonjourner. I don't know if I want to put the second Tyranitar down or not. I could Ultra Ball and get the other Stonjourner out of my deck. I think that feels fine. Oh, I don't have another Stonjourner. Oops. Oops. We'll grab Archeops then, because we'll just discard it next turn if we play Research. I'm going to leave the Primal Turbos, and we will Tempest Dive for 200 and knock out the Rotom V. I thought I saw 2 Stonjourners in deck. I guess I didn't. Now, here's the thing. If I discard the Stadium... Yeah, I am going to discard the Stadium to make it so they're less likely to knock me out here. But I would rather leave it in play so that the Stonjourner can do extra damage. So that's a little bit of dyssynergy in this deck, unfortunately. But I can always just go in with Tyranitar if I want to instead of the Stonjourner. And I can also just attack with Giga Hammer as well, so. Alright, so we get the Rotom V Star evolution here. We're going to see them hit 80 plus 40 for every tool they lost zone. 12. So they're doing 240 right now. They need one more tool in their discard pile, which they do. Just discard now. And then, let's see. Yeah, so that should hit even through the V-Guard, I believe. Because the V-Guard is after weakness. They're going to scrap Pulse here. And do hit me for 290. I do draw a couple of cards off of the gift energy. And now I can put up Stonjourner and take the easy 2-prize KO because they are fighting weak. We do get another Lugia. I do feel comfortable benching this one here because I can always go boss KO on a Galarian Articuno or the Miraidon EX at some point in the future. As long as I don't attach the double turbo, but I feel like I might have to. I don't know if I have enough energy to not do that, you know what I mean? So I will just attach it. And then I will... Do I want to research? I don't know. Let's Great Ball first. Fail it. I am going to Primal Turbo. We're going to get 2 Single Strike energies onto our active. I think I might also put Double Turbo onto the Tyranitar as well. So we're going to do this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we have to use Giga Hammer to take the knockout, which is fine. I'm going to leave my hand like this because I want the boss out in my hand. And I have an urn as well. I will use the second Primal Turbo because I can, and I will just put a couple of energies onto the Tyranitar so that I am ready to go next turn just in case an Archeops does get boss KO'd, although that would be a bad play from my opponent. So we will go for the 320 Giga Hammer here and take the knockout. We will take 2 more prize cards. And now they have to set up another Rotom V Star this turn. They have no energy in play, and they really do have to hard attach here, unless they get that electric generator going. So they could always electric generator 2 energy here. The Stonjourner is the most threatening thing for my opponent, so they're going to have to go through that, otherwise they're just going to lose the game on the next turn. Because boss's orders on Tyranitar or Lugia will reset the Giga Hammer effect, and I will be able to use it on the next turn. Anytime one of your Pokemon goes to the bench, those effects reset. So we do see an Ultra Ball from my opponent. Looks like they failed it. And then they're going to Raihan. Oh, they're going to attack with Miraidon this turn? Interesting. So I will be able to attack for quite a lot with the Tyranitar. So if they do attack with the Miraidon, it's perfectly fine here. Yeah, so it looks like Rotom V Star decks do get a buff going into rotation, which is pretty nice here. My cat is meowing at me. Apparently it is dinner time. Oh yes, it is past dinner time. We gotta feed that cat. Yep, so they are going to Miraidon. We draw an extra card, which is Archeops off of that lucky energy. Our opponent takes 1 prize card, and we will finish this game off now. So we will earn, bomb, put those back into the deck. We will Primal Turbo, boom. And we won't hurt our opponent's feelings anymore. We will just Single Strike Crush for the knockout, take our last 2 prize cards. Even though I could put more Single Strike energies on and hit for, you know, like 40 more damage. And the opponent concedes as we're taking the prize cards. So, yeah, that is a good showcase of how Lugia V Star still works. It is highly consistent and just all around still fun to play, in my opinion. So definitely try this deck out for yourself. It has outs to everything. It's even fine not playing Dunsparce because you have the Stonejourner. And I was able to win basically off this one Stonejourner, and it was great. So as always, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It feeds that YouTube algorithm, makes it so these videos get fed to other people, and we keep growing the community as is. I think we've gained like 60 subscribers over the past like month, which is absolutely insane. So that's 2 a day on average, which for a very small channel like this is kind of explosive growth. I've never seen growth like that before. So we will see you guys next time.